welcome to Game Changers, and on the field edition. We're here at Lone Depot Park, where if one play-by-play man isn't good enough, get two. So we've got Goldie, we've got Samantha, and we've got Paul Severino joining us, coming down from the booth at Lone Depot Park here to hang out with us today to talk a little Marlins. So thanks for joining us, first of all. And obviously the Marlins have been on quite the tear. Best start since 1997, and I think it all starts with Skip Schumacher. He said he wanted to change the culture when he arrived here. From your point of view, how has that culture in fact changed?
I think the culture has changed in a lot of different ways, but a word that I always like to use is accountability. It's all of the little things. Maybe not every night have been perfect, but there's always striving to be perfect. Every little thing, a defensive play, cutting off a runner going from first to second on a hustle double, or turning a double play when you need to, a diving play, offensively, taking the extra base, all those little things, those are things that help you win baseball games. And again, Marlins offense has been better last few weeks, but on the whole, it's not an offense that's going to outslug teams. So they have to do the little things right, because at the end of the day, they're playing a lot of tight games. So that comes down to just making sure that you execute all the details.
Speaking of tight games, they are, I believe, leading the league, correct? In close games and win. Is that, you think that's sustainable for the whole year, or they have to maybe find some offense as they continue this run towards hopefully the postseason?
Can I say both?
Yes.
Say both. I'll go with both. No, I mean, listen, the deadline's coming up in maybe a month or so. I never know what day it is. If it's a day game, then it's either a Sunday or a Thursday. That's pretty much all I've got.
Quite a life you've carved out for yourself.
Yeah, really. I think, are we in June or July? I don't even know. Anyway, yeah, so with the deadline coming up, I'm sure that they'll scour the trade market, try to figure something out to help the offense a little bit. But the bullpen's been great. So that's really, they've either kept them in games if they fallen behind early to give the offense a chance to come back, or they've locked down leads when they've had the lead. So it's been good. So again, I'll say both.
Oh, okay, cool.
Awesome. Listen, we want to ask you about Yuri Perez. How awesome has it been, watching him perform as well as he has?
They say he's 20, but he's got the maturity and the poise of somebody who's been in the big leagues for, 15 years. It's been so much fun to watch. Lowest ERA by a wide margin for any Marlin through the first 8 starts in his career. He's been tremendous, and he's a great young personality. We had him on just the other night. We talked to him for 2 innings. So fun, and infectious personality. Lively arm too, which helps. So he's, while Sandy, last year's Cy Young Award winner, is trying to figure things out, he's kind of stepped up and provided some really good starting pitching for this team right now.
Paul, what do you think has been the difference for Sandy, and obviously the talent he has, the Marlins doing what they're doing? If he gets going, that adds another layer to success.
I wish I had a short answer for that, but nobody's been able to figure it out, because he's had maybe last 7 or 8 starts, like one bad inning that makes the whole outing look bad. So a couple outings ago against the Oakland A's, he goes 7 innings, so that's good, but he gives up 5 runs. That's not so good. Well, the first, the second, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh, 1, 2, 3 innings. And then a 5-run third inning. Yeah. The other night, 5-run second inning. He was nearly perfect every other inning. So it's been really weird. Could be a lot of different things. Maybe it's the new rules with the shifts. Positionally, defensive positions are a little bit different this year than they were last year. Some soft contact that last year wouldn't have found holes, that might have turned into double plays to help them get out of innings, or turning into base hits and therefore big innings. So could be a lot of different things. But as we all know, I'm not smart enough to figure that out.
Well, none of us are. No question about that. Speaking of the rules, has it been a difference broadcasting with no shift, and obviously the games are quicker? Does it make a difference for you in the booth, besides the fact that you get to eat after the game a little earlier?
Well, I think as a broadcaster, a lot of times people don't want to hear you talk anyway, which is kind of a paradox.
Lay out.
Yeah, really. So now there's just less time for me to ramble on about stuff. Thank you for giving me this platform to talk, by the way. No, but it's been good because it's been crisp games, and I think if we take a step back, certainly not from a broadcaster perspective, but from a fan perspective, it gives you a chance to go to the ballpark, carve out maybe 2.5 hours, and see some crisp baseball. And as we've gone, I think people are getting used to it. A lot of and I consider myself something of an old school fan. Early part of the season, old school fans were kind of upset with the whole thing, but it's not as though, hey, the 2-hour, 30-minute mark, and it's the 7th inning and we're done. Like, you're still playing 9 innings. It's just a lot less of the nothing that's going on. So I've liked it a lot.
By the way, this is a web-based show, so you can talk as much as you want. There is no deadline.
Here, you can do the next few segments.
Oh, thank you very much. I've prepared 15 minutes of material.
Hey, we got a stand-up routine in addition to Game Changers. We're going to let you go, though, because we know you got to go to work, but we love you on the calls, and thank you so much for joining us here. We're going to have so much more to talk about on Game Changers. We're not done talking about the Heat and Panthers, plus the little Dolphins coming up next as well. Welcome back to Game Changers. Once again, we're out here at Lone Depot Park checking out the Marlins, and we have a special Panthers guest. The guests are just rolling in right now. Jessica Blaylock joining the show. If she's not photobombing Goldie while he's trying to work, she's actually going to talk some cats with us. I want to know what this roster is going to look like, because we heard Bill Zito this week saying he owes it to those guys to try to bring everybody back. Roster-wise for the Cats next year. Is it going to look the same?
Well, first off, you knew I was going to try and weasel my way into the show in some capacity once I saw Goldie talking to Paul Severino. But first off, getting to the Panthers, the number one thing I want to say is how proud I think everybody should be of that team, everything that they battled through, how far they ended up making it, the teams that they went through to get to the Stanley Cup final, and just incredibly amazing to see that initially the belief that Bill Zito had in the group at the trade line didn't end up making any moves, the only team in the NHL to not make a move. That belief ended up paying off. Right. So first off, I think you love to see that, and so incredibly proud of what this team accomplished. Now, obviously, with the news coming out after the playoffs about all of the injuries that they are going to be dealing with heading into next season, that dramatically impacts the team. And I think one of the biggest things that you're going to need to see the Cats address is their defense, especially considering that you may be starting the season without Aaron Ekblad, without Brandon Montour. You've got a lot of forward depth, but I think the one area that you're really going to need to address and really need to make sure you have shored up going into next season is going to be the defense.
Okay, so I'll pose this question to Goldie and Samantha then. From the Heat and Panthers perspective, who's got the tougher job, Bill Zito or Pat Riley?
Yeah, I think Bill Zito does, because he's got more guys. First of all, there's more guys that you have to deal with, and these injuries are a factor because he can't just plug in and spend the money.
Right.
Because if a guy's going to miss, for argument's sake, 2 months of the season, he's making $7 million. Yeah, if it's on long-term injury reserve, the money comes off the cap. But if you spend that money on other players, when that guy comes back, he can't get back in the lineup unless somebody else is hurt. So Zito's got a job here. He's going to have to convince some veteran players in the NHL to say, hey, come to Florida on a shorter term deal than you used to, for less money than you really deserve, because you're going to have an opportunity. He's done a great job at finding guys over the years, like some of the guys that we mentioned, but it's going to be a big sell job here. Free agency starts next Saturday.
I'm going to play devil's advocate here, and I agree with you, but at the same time, Pat Riley is going to have a tough time, right? Trying to make that magic happen again. So, I don't know. Definitely, I can see from both sides, right? Both of these guys, not an easy job to do. So
I agree with Pat Riley from the perception standpoint.
Right.
Because at least for him, fans, and Panthers have expectations too now, but Heat fans, they can be brutal about this whole situation. Every time they don't go out and land an orca or a whale, they lose their mind. Yeah. And so there is a guy out there like a Damian Lillard who they could potentially trade for. Will they actually get him, or will it be the subtle moves that they make that can shore it up? We've seen the Heat win championships by trading for those guys who would be quote-unquote subtle moves in the past, just whether or not they can do that again.
And by the way, no pun intended, that would be a game changer if they got Lillard. Yes.
You know what was a game changer? Getting Jess on the show.
Blaylock. Thanks, Blaylock. We appreciate it.
No,
thanks for joining us. You're leaving me hanging, girls. Leaving me hanging. She knew.
I was so excited. I was about to give everybody a group hug.
We'll take that too. Here you go.
We're going to talk to the Dolphins on the other side, but yes, Jess, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Game Changers here at Lone Depot Park. We're checking out the Marlins today. Steve Goldstein, Samantha Rivera out here with us on the diamond today. But we're going to talk a little football now. Dalvin Cook, local Miami guy, has been in the news recently. Will he or will he not come home and play for the Miami Dolphins? My question is, should the Dolphins, Samantha, make that move?
I say absolutely, right? If you want to be a Super Bowl, champion team, why not go all out, right? This guy would be a great fit for this Dolphins offense, and like you said, he's a hometown guy. Like, why not come home, to play for this amazing team? I also think it's interesting how he's kind of messing with people's minds, right? On social media, liking different tweets, talking about maybe going to the Jets or the Dolphins. He's having fun with it, yeah. But I think absolutely go for it if you can.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic, Mike. I think the interest from the parts of the Jets may, again, no pun intended, may be a game changer.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers is there.
Killing it with those today.
Well, it's just fitting, only if it fits. I don't force the issue. Samantha knows that.
You're not a dad.
Wow. Okay,
do you? And I don't think Chris Greer will do this.
Yeah.
But it comes into my mind. They already got Aaron Rodgers. They're a team on the rise. You try to keep him away from the Jets and just sign him. Now, I love Raheem Mostert, what he does. Jeff Wilson came in from San Francisco. Both these guys have played for McDaniel before.
Sure.
They know the system. They're terrific people in that running back room. They're great guys. They're leaders. But I still think there's room for those two guys. You just obviously they won't get as many carries. And those guys are so selfless that I think both Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson, if it makes the team better, they'll be okay with it.
Yeah, and they could get involved in the pass game. Look, a guy like Dalvin Cook, who has rushed for 1,000 yards in the last 4 seasons, just doesn't come available this time of year very often. And I think just because of that alone, you absolutely have to at least kick the tires and see if you can sign him. Now, I think he was supposed to make like $13-14 million this year. They probably have to get somewhere in that ballpark.
That's going to be tough.
That's going to be the tough.
They want to pay him half that.
That's going to be the tough part. But you mentioned Super Bowl contender. Do you guys think if Dalvin Cook, real quick, we got a minute. Do you guys think if Dalvin Cook's on this team that you can kind of pencil Miami to be a straight shot for Vegas this year?
Oh, 100%. We're going to the Super Bowl if it comes.
Well, everybody else in town keeps winning, so why not pick the Dolphins to go and do it?
Yeah.
I mean, certainly it helps their cause 100%. The AFC is brutally tough. We know that, but you get a guy like that, and it just adds another talented guy to what's already a loaded roster.
You can't have enough talent. I think the Dolphins are kind of in that win-now mode just by the trades they've made, going after Tyreek, going after Chubb, now going after Ramsey. If you get a guy like Dalvin Cook, you're sending a message to the entire league that we're going to be here, and it's not just going to be a cakewalk for the Chiefs to the Super Bowl again. All right, guys, there's more to come here on Game Changers. Let's talk a little bit more Marlins before we get out of here.
Give them the love. Give them the love.
Give them the love. We'll be right back. All right, this is usually the portion of the show where we pull out the cell phone, do a little what's trending roulette. But you know what? The Marlins have been trending in the right direction all season. Best start since 1997. They won a World Series that year. Goldie, I'll start with you. Does the playoff train in South Florida continue, and does it continue with the Miami Marlins?
It's been an incredible year.
Yeah.
Dolphins should have won that game in Buffalo. That's another story. FAU basketball, Miami basketball, the Panthers, the Heat. So sure, why not? I mean, we got the vibe going. I think Skip Schumacher's come in, done a great job, first-year manager. And the biggest key to me is, first of all, Luis Ariz is the best hitter in baseball.
Yeah.
I was here the other night, sitting in the stands as a fan. Fans were chanting MVP. Yeah. I have never heard that in the 30 years, coming to Marlins games. So they also have the pitching. And with Perez and Alcantara, I think Sandy will get it going in the second half. If they go out and make a move, I think that's going to be big too. They need to tell the fans, the market, but most importantly, the guys in that clubhouse, we believe in you. Here's a little help. Bring in a player or two at the deadline.
By the way, we caught you on the television that night. You were supposed to be at work.
Yeah. Ice cream was delicious, by the way.
No big deal. Yeah.
Delicious.
No
and
big
Samantha
deal.
saw that club area, by the way.
Samantha, are we going to have playoff ice cream here at Marlins?
Oh my gosh. I think just to echo what he said, yes, we can absolutely
maybe hopefully expect to see the Marlins, continue to play as well as they have been, right? The vibes are just high right now. They're different, right? They're playing some great baseball when you have guys that are just out there having fun, right? Luis, Yuri, all these guys, I think they're in the middle of something really special. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see them.
And you know what? I agree. I think they will get it done. They'll be in the wild card spot. I think the Braves are going to be too far ahead to catch. But a wild card spot that they have right now at the moment with Sandy Alcantara, their ace, their Cy Young Award winner, not playing his best baseball, and Jazz Chisholm isn't in the lineup right now. So you got to expect this Marlins team to get a lot better. And who knows, maybe we'll be doing more shows from out here at the ballpark again.
I know.
Because this,
Get more of that
Especially if
ice
the club is open. Go in there. I'll take you in there, Samantha. Don't worry. He's
This was a
out.
lot.
We're in. He's out.
goalie will be here, skipping work, so we know where to find you.
Skipping work.
We know where to find you at least.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, this was a lot of fun. Steve Goldstein, Samantha Rivera, Mike Cunio at Lone Depot Park for Game Changers. I think we'll be back. Thanks for watching.